Hello, this is our MRI data we collected in regards to adult cigarette smokers of the United States. Today, we'll be discussing cigarette usage groups, demographic comparisons, highest indices and interpretation, highest percent of product users, mass marketing, niche marketing, market penetration, and media channel recommendations. Under adult cigarette usage groups are heavy users who smoke 9+ packs a week, medium users who smoke 6 to 8 packs a week, light users who smoke 0 to 5 packs a week, and this data can be used for cigarette companies, ad agencies, governmental policies, healthcare companies, medical researchers, or smoke shops and liquor stores for market entry. Demographic comparisons. The table shown represents the highest spreads for each segment of tobacco users, heavy, medium, and light. There is no direct increasing or decreasing correlation that is consistent among all the demographics. Education steadily decreases from heavy users at 138 to medium users at 111 to light users at 75, whereas occupation increases from heavy users at 142 to medium users at 196 and then decreases to 63 for the light users. Highest indices and interpretation. By looking at the indices of each segment of demographics, we can discover patterns in certain segments. The table shown portrays the highest indices. For every demographic variable except race, we see a replication of segments between the three user types, heavy, medium, and light. For education, we see that both medium and light tobacco users graduated high school. Education is also the only variable which had two segments with the same index. Next, for occupation, heavy and light users will work in the fields of natural resources, construction, and maintenance. Household income is the most consistent, as the highest indices came from individuals who make less than $20,000 a year for every type of tobacco user. Looking at age, people 45 to 54 years old had the highest indices for heavy and medium users. As mentioned before, there is no specific pattern regarding race. Based on the last graph, we are taking a closer look at education. As you can see, the highest index for heavy is people who did not graduate high school. This means that these people are 67% more likely than the general population to be heavy users of cigarettes. Conversely, postgraduates have an index of 29 and are 71% less likely to be heavy smokers. Highest percent of product users. This table shows the highest percentage of product users for each demographic segment in terms of heavy, medium, and light users. It is apparent that the demographic variable race dominates all three categories, with 75.9% white-only people being heavy smokers, 85.3% being medium smokers, and 69.9% being light smokers. Mass marketing. The three segments that were chosen to conduct a mass marketing campaign for were users that have the household income of $20,000 or less, users that have occupations in the natural resource, construction, and maintenance sectors, and users that have no college education. These decisions were based on the segments possessing the aspects of having considerable percentage of actual users and a high likelihood of using cigarettes heavily. This will ensure a high probability of exchange. The household income segment has a 26% share of actual users and a 91% probability to use heavily. Though there is already a strong base of users present, it would be wise to take into consideration that the cost of living and taxes on cigarettes are continuously rising and will discourage current users from buying. Focusing marketing efforts on these users will help retain the most profitable segment and will persuade users that their money is being spent wisely. The segment of no college education contributes 66.6% of users and has a likelihood of 49% to use cigarettes heavily. Due to the stress of competing in an economy that favors the highly trained and educated, these users may develop self-esteem issues and will look to outlets to alleviate their problems. Another factor to be considered is having an education that is at or below a standard level has direct correlations with a person's yearly income. The same marketing methods as described for household income can be used with an addition of persuading users that smoking is a smart choice and will be perceived as a prestigious habit. Niche marketing. The three segments that were chosen to conduct a niche marketing campaign for were users between the ages of 18 to 26 and users that are Black or African American. The Black or African American segment, which are 16% of total users and possess a considerable likelihood of 36 to use heavily. The percentage is high because many cigarette companies already have extensive campaigns that sponsor sporting events or hip-hop competitions and air advertisements that focus on the segment. Though the expenditure for sponsorships and advertisements has slacked recently, reviving the campaign that once again focuses on the Black African American segment will retain heavy users and attract users from the light and medium user segments. We can expect to see users from other groups convert to heavy use. Market penetration. In this table, we present the leading segments in marketing penetration for heavy users in education, age, occupation, household income, and race. Education. 6.5% of those who did not graduate high school smoked 9 or more packs of cigarettes within the last 7 days. For age, 5.1% of those who were in the age gap of 45 to 54 smoked 9 or more packs of cigarettes within the last 7 days. For occupation, 6.8% of those who were employed in the natural resources, construction, and maintenance fields smoked 9 or more packs of cigarettes within the last 7 days. For household income, 7.4% of those who had a household income of less than $20,000 smoked more than 9 or more packs of cigarettes within the last 7 days. For race, 5.3% of those who were of Black or African American race smoked more than 9 or more packs of cigarettes within the last 7 days. Media channel recommendations. Mass marketing. We identify 5 separate media vehicles for 3 separate media formats. Through data calculation, we were able to identify the media vehicles which have the largest share of users and the highest index. We are, therefore, able to identify the percent of product users within the heavy user segment and statistical likelihood that they choose certain media vehicles over others. We retrieved our data from data collected about heavy users because they purchase the most amount of cigarettes and are the most potential largest customers. As can be seen by the television data, 43.2% of heavy cigarette users watch the History Channel. Those who watch the History Channel are 23% more likely than the general population to be heavy users. Since having a large percent of product users is desirable for mass marketing, the most effective way to spend money on mass marketing is to target the History Channel first, then the Discovery Channel, and so on. Immediately, NASCAR.com stands out with those members being 84% more likely to be heavy users. Although they maintain the third highest percent of product users, the index is clearly the highest. Since the other indices are the same but only vary by percent of product users, YellowPages.com would be the next best option, followed by NFL.com. Niche marketing. Similar to mass marketing, we want to identify the highest indices possible given the percent of product users. Niche marketing is different, however, because having a higher index is more important than maintaining the highest percent of product users because our goal is to reach specific audiences. To sustain consistency within the 3 tables above, these tables are also listed in order from lowest to highest percentage of product users. Regarding niche marketing for television, we try to identify the best balance between index and percent of product users. Country music television is a great opportunity, with those users being 62% more likely than the general population to be heavy users. Conversely, FX and American movie classics are other great alternatives because a large percentage of heavy users watch those channels. Lastly, the internet is the third best possibility for niche marketing. The percent of product users tend to skew lower, but websites still maintain relatively high indices. Although Yahoo and Espanol does not have the highest percent or product users, the index is very high and should be the first website for marketing. The second best option is MTV.com, followed by Farmville, WWE.com, and AOL Sporting News.com.